Hello, Saddleback family. My name is Sam, and I'm the campus pastor in South Bay. I hope that you are doing well and you are staying safe. Now, every year I get a theme verse from God, and this year it's from James 1, 2 to 4. It says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Perseverance must finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." I'll admit, when I got this verse, I was not excited because it talks about trials, tests, suffering, and pain, and I don't like pain. And so I got this verse in January, and I had no idea why. Everything in January was going great. It was a new decade. Things were starting off amazingly. But then March rolls around, and I understand why God gave me this verse. And as we are 6 months into this, I have been repeating this verse over and over to myself. And it's helped me to think appropriately so that I can act accordingly. And I know it's going to help you today too. So James shares that we will face trials of many kinds. We are in perhaps one of the biggest trials of our lifetime. There is no bigger, no greater test that we are going through, not only as individuals, but also for our country and also for our world. And we're all going through a current trial right now, which is going back to school online. And I have a 5-year-old. She started kindergarten, and it's all online. And I sit next to her, and so I feel like I'm in kindergarten with her. And I don't like school, so please pray for me. But all the other parents and students, we're going through this trial, and it is tough. But maybe for you, you're going through other trials. Maybe it's with your business. Maybe it's with your workplace. Maybe it's with your housing situation, or just your health is not doing so well. And it may feel like there's just so many tests that are coming and piling on. And James shares that in the midst of our trials, we need to choose an attitude of joy. We need to consider pure joy. It's not this partial joy. It's not a forced joy. It's not a fake joy. It's a joy where you can see goodness, where you can be grateful for things, even if there doesn't feel like it, because we can still see goodness because we believe that God is good. So James says we need to consider pure joy. Will you consider joy? Will you consider seeing your situation and seeing what you can be grateful for, even in the storms of life? Now, this doesn't mean that you won't feel other emotions. I know I have, I know we will. We're going through a roller coaster of emotions, whether it's sadness, anger, frustration, anxiety, fear, hopelessness, or depression. And it's important that we acknowledge these feelings, and it's important that we express them in a healthy way. But at the end of the day, we need to choose joy. We need to choose an attitude of joy in every moment because we know that God is with us. And when we do that, we get to experience God's peace and God's joy. James also encourages us to persevere. Persevere through the trials, that we are not to give up. We need to fight on, and we need to know that you are stronger than you realize or you think, that you are able to overcome. But I know one of the dangers that we all go through is that we think we have to persevere by ourselves, that we think we have to do it alone on our own strength. But God says no. He gives us 2 resources to help us persevere. First, he gives us God himself. He gives himself, who is almighty, all powerful. He has all wisdom and understanding about your situation. So we need to come to God, ask for help, rely on his strength, and know that he will give us the wisdom and strength to get through it. The other thing that God gives us is the church. He gives us brothers and sisters and people in our church to help us, to support us, to encourage us, to be with us, like in a small group. So we have a church that wants to pray for you and provide spiritual protection in your situation. I know many of us, we are exhausted. We are emotionally drained, and we don't know when this will be over. We don't know what the future holds or when things will get better or back to the past. And I don't know either, I'll admit. But even though I don't know what's going to happen in the future, I know who is in the future. I believe God is in the future, and I believe the church will continue to exist in the future. So if God and the church are in the future, we need to hold on to both of them right now in our present moment and situation. I know you get this. You're watching this and you're holding on to God and you're holding on to the church. But maybe you just need to be reminded of that today. Or maybe you have a friend, a family member, a coworker, or neighbor that needs to know about James 1:2-4. That when we are joyful, that when we persevere, that James promises us that we will be mature and complete, not lacking anything. So I want to encourage you to persevere with God and with the church. You are not alone. And when you do persevere, God will give you joy and God will give you hope. And that is my hope and prayer for you today. God bless you.